Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Dave.
If you think spiders creep you out, check out the True Servants of Lolth. Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips as well as learn how to game with us. We're jumping back into Volo's guide, and this time we're talking monsters. We've got the Chitine and the choldrith.
Chitlins.
No, not quite. You got spidery elves and whatnot.
So these guys are kind of interesting in the sense that they're like created by the drow. Drow actually have to work together with each other with several different disciplines, kind of with the blessing of Lolth, and at the end Lolth is kind of like, fuck you guys.
Well, she was expecting them to be like, oh, we've got, new servants for you, my spider queen, but they didn't dedicate them to her. She's like, what the hell? I did this for you, and you can't give me a thumbs up?
Worship me!
So she's like, all right, fine. You're gonna be a bitch, I'm gonna be a bitch. And she's like...
She sabotaged their creation by making... what are they?
The Chitines are good workers, but then they made the choldrith, which are more in line with her spidery form.
Yeah, and pretty much the lore is the drow are doing their thing and make the Chitine warriors, and they're like, right, we did a good job, they're all like thumbs up in each other, right? And then they accidentally create a choldrith, so they think, and they're like, oh wow, we really knocked it out of the park of this one. They're high-fiving each other.
Because the choldriths have the ability to lay eggs and make more Chitine, so they're like, these are fantastic. When we get one of these guys, we get even more out of it. Awesome.
We're total bosses.
And then they realize that the choldriths are whispering into the Chitine's ears that, look, we're the true people of Lolth. This is the way she really wants it. We need to rise up and get out of here.
Basically, Lolth is a vengeful bitch. And because they didn't do the things and pay in the way that she thought it should have been done and didn't pay her proper respect, she basically sabotaged the Chitines, and every once in a while an Uber Chitine appears, which is a choldrith that can make their own. They're in charge of the Chitines. They listen to them. They're completely and wholly dedicated to Lolth, as it should be, and they actually hate elves and drow pretty much.
They're pretty cool. They have their own society now because they went off and did their own thing. Regular Chitines every once in a while are still created by the drow because they make good workers. But when they make the bigger ones, the choldrith, they
just murder them.
We're gonna kill you because you can't be here.
Yeah, and the choldrith, they're also born. They're also automatically priests or priestesses of Lolth.
Yes,
I believe they're all females. Are they all females?
Yeah, they don't have gender, per se. They just more associate with females because that's what Lolth is.
Yes. So it's kind of cool, interesting monster in the sense that it's not really a friend to your players, but at the same time it is an enemy to drow.
Drow society and everything else is chaotic, and these guys are chaotic. You could have it where the players encounter both groups, and because they're at war with each other, all they have to do is present I'm an enemy of these guys. All right, well, I can kind of sort of work with you a little bit here.
We have the Chitine at half a CR. The choldriths are CR 3. So, they make decent mid-level monsters to throw at your party. Again, like Ted said, it could be very well that you come upon a conflict, or maybe either way, the drow are like wiping these things out, or
vice versa,
and the players come on and decide if they want to help one side or the other, or wait, let it play out, and then murder whoever's left.
And there's nothing to say that you couldn't take the choldrith features and add that onto a higher NPC priest, so it's got higher than the 4th level spells.
Yes, yeah, that would have.
Sorry, they only go up to second
level.
But I mean, if you wanted to tack on something else, you can absolutely do that.
No, you're right. 4th level. It would be a 4th level caster.
Yes,
this is what you meant.
That's what I meant. So it's definitely got some good stuff. A lot of use that you could do, not only as just here's an encounter. They work more like ants. So everyone has their own role in the Chitine choldrith society, with the choldriths being at the top, and one singular choldrith being, I'm the one in charge, I'm the conduit to lolth.
The queen bee.
Yeah.
Or as the case may be, which is the kind of like the interesting thing is, what, you know, while they are like spiders, at the same time they are also very much, you know, like you said, like, you know, bees or ants, and very colony-like in the way they perform. By the way, if you guys have not picked up your Volo's Guide to the Monsters, you can.
You need to.
You need to, and you can find a link to it in the description below, and probably a pinned post as well. The other thing it says is they also use spider servants, so any kind of spider creatures can be found working with these guys. You know, they're all about the spider. You know, immediately what I thought of when I was reading these guys is Ettercap. You know, these guys would be awesome working with Ettercaps. Obviously, any of the giant spiders. They also mentioned Cave Fisher, which is another monster in this book, which is from AD&D Monster Manual 2, I believe, was one of my favorites. There's tons of ways, and this is another Underdark monster too. So, like, if you decide, I know some people hate drow. If you wanted to remove drow from your campaigns, you can replace them with these guys. That would work nicely. Yeah. You know, or in addition, also, you could have Drider working with these guys as well, because they're kind of like the outcasts of Lolth. Maybe they're trying to work their way back, but maybe they blame the drow for their failures. So,
right.
So definitely Ettercaps, drows, any kind of spider. You can
mix choldriths.
Yeah, you can mix it with these Dragoloths. I'd throw some of them in there, maybe.
Well, Dragoloths, that's the demony drow. I don't know, because they're not spidery in any way, shape, or form. I don't know how they would wind up interacting with the choldriths.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like because they're probably closer to Lolth, being fiendish creatures.
Yeah,
it's a possibility.
Anyway you want to mix it up in your game. I don't see the connection, but I think they're great because they don't have to automatically be a combat encounter. There's enough intelligence there. You know, the choldriths have an 11 intelligence and a 14 wisdom. They speak Undercommon. You're gonna have the ability to communicate with them, and you can get you know, a kind of bounce back situation between the two different essentially aggressors. I think it'd be fun to do.
When you say bounce back, are you talking about like both the drow and the Chitin civilization trying to use the players against each other?
Yes.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, it's to be fun because you have these two powers that the party itself isn't powerful enough to bring down either society, but they're caught in the middle of it for some reason, and you know, getting that weaving together, you could have something that's really interesting until, you know, the party's high enough level, or until somebody makes a wrong move, and now all of a sudden one side has the ability to take the advantage and use the party against the other.
Yeah, I could also see the Chitins reaching out to maybe like an urban environment, reaching out to adventurers, looking to recruit them. Maybe, you know, maybe not even to destroy drow, but maybe there's more of their numbers that are enslaved by drow, and they want
them free.
They want them freed, so they're willing to hire adventurers and send them in and risk their lives in order to free them. So it also talks about like you could also use them other places in the Underdark as well. Definitely in a dark, creepy forest, these guys would work. You know, up in the mountains, these guys would work. Maybe even, you know, an abandoned keep or someplace like that, where it also talks about how they use their webbing to build things, build constructions and stuff like that.
Yeah, the interesting thing is they talk about the Chitines make web armor, and it's the equivalent of essentially hide. So that could be its own thing. Like there's no stats for it in here, but if you wanted to have this new thing, perhaps that could be like part of the trade agreement, that it's as strong as hide, it's easier to make for them, and it's lighter or something along those lines.
Bridges, they're bridge builders. They build bridges for people out of webbing. Which they do have that ability as well, like we said, to construct things out of their web. So, you know, players could also come upon basically this kingdom that's been built out of these web structures. They're very much like spiders. They have the web walking. They have this. I think they have the web sense as well. Yep. So you're not going to get anywhere as near that domain without triggering with their tripwires. Again, very much like the Ettercaps as well. There's probably a couple other monsters that you could probably find. I don't know if they added the Retriever or not in the demon section of this, which would be another spider monster. Why not use phase spiders?
Oh yeah.
Definitely like these guys, spider swarms. Like these guys, you can have like a whole arachnid theme going on and give your players the creepy crawlies for weeks to come.
Arachnomancers?
You could do it in Arachnomancers, but not the way you did them in Cheated. Have you guys delved into Volo's Got the Monsters? What do you think of the Chitines? Are you using them in your game? Are you glad to see them back from previous editions? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can tweet us at Nerdarchy.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.